Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
This developing story overseas: attacks in the Middle East. Several top Iranian military leaders were killed in Israeli airstrikes. The planned retaliation from Iran possible overnight, and President Donald Trump's response.
Gray skies to start the day and a few isolated showers, but late this afternoon we'll have scattered storms popping up. I'll walk you through the timeline. And president protests against President Trump's administration. Demonstrations scheduled tomorrow in hundreds of cities, including right here in the Triangle. The preparations for the rallies expected to take place during the military parade in Washington, D.C.
And crossing the stage, high school graduates are getting ready for their big moment today in Wake County. What you need to know if you plan to go. And it's going to be very exciting for so many. I think it's 12,000 plus students that are graduating. It's a big time and an important time in their lives. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning here on this Friday on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Starting off a little cloudy right now. No rain in our area just yet. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking that rain just off to our west. Taking a look at Build-Upper 5000 radar, we have been tracking this rain that's been coming up out of Charlotte. It's been moving into the western part of the state, western part of our viewing area. We've had some showers along and east of I-95 and up in Mecklenburg County, Virginia. Pretty quiet at the moment, though. Things are pretty settled back here to the west. You can see that rain is pretty far to the west, and as it tries to move eastward, it's not having much luck at that, which is fine. We're going to keep a 20% chance on and off up until we get to around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then that chance really starts to bump up. Isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms that could produce some heavy rain begin to pop up. And I'm going to walk you through that with Futurecast in just a few minutes. Gray skies for the most part here in Raleigh. It's a very warm and sticky air mass. 71 is the dew point with a temperature of 77. That feels oppressively heavy. With clouds today, highs will stay in the upper 80s. We continue with that chance of showers and storms. A big push of tropical moisture comes in and sticks around for the weekend. Again, we'll go over the timeline coming up. Ken?
Right at 8:02, Elizabeth, we've got a significant situation brewing in southern Wake County, just south of State Road 540 this morning because of this crash right here on Friendship Road. And as we're looking at the delays, it's stretching all the way back to New Hill, Holloman Road, right there in the New Hill area. We're going to keep an eye on that and let you know what's really, how long it's going to continue to affect your morning commute. But really, what's old is new again. That old US Highway 1, that's really your best bet in terms of avoiding that slowdown that we're seeing in those US 1 northbound lanes there in southern Wake County. Again, I'll keep an eye on that. Isolating the Beltline this morning, we got things have really cleared up quite a bit on the southern loop of the Beltline. We're just seeing a little bit of a slowdown between, if you get off those I-87 lanes, Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest Road, Six Forks Road exits, that's where we're seeing the main slowdown. But let's take you outside and give you a live look at that southern loop. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I-40 Lake Wheeler Road flowing nicely in all directions. Similarly, on the northern loop of the Beltline, it's right now delay-free. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking overnight following a series of Israeli strikes on Iran. Israel says it is shooting down drones from Iran. Several nuclear scientists were killed in those Israeli strikes. Israel says it is targeting the country's nuclear and military sites. Iranian state media is reporting several high-ranking military officials were killed. In a post to Truth Social this morning, President Donald Trump said Iran has had chance after chance to make a deal, and now it is paying the price. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. was not involved in the strikes.
And Michelle, a lot of that video we are just seeing right there is hits on the city of Tehran. OK, I want to show you this. This is video from one of Iran's main nuclear enrichment centers right now. This is sent from Iranian state media here, just coming into the WRAL Live Center here. Fireballs and plumes of smoke there up into the sky. This is a place called Natanz, and it's partially above ground, partially below ground. You see those explosions there. There are several halls where they spin uranium gas for its nuclear program there. And since a lot of these attacks center on the nuclear enrichment program and U.S. and Israel wanting that to end, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that they targeted that site in these attacks. This could be a prolonged operation as well. And just a few minutes ago, we got word from Hamas expressing solidarity with Iran moving forward.
In breaking overnight, a person is in critical condition after a shooting in Goldsboro. Police confirmed around 2 o'clock this morning the shooting happened on Hughes Street last night. The person who was shot was taken to the hospital, and police say they have a person in custody.
Starting today, thousands of Wake County high school graduates will cross the stage and turn their tassels. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the Raleigh Convention Center this morning. Kelsey, these ceremonies will bring big crowds to downtown Raleigh.
Yes, Michelle, Enloe High School's graduation ceremony is now underway. It started probably about 5 minutes ago here, but more than 12,000 students are walking across the stage this week for graduation. Take a look at this video of graduates gathered outside the Raleigh Convention Center earlier this morning. There's a busy day ahead. 3 other graduations are scheduled to happen here at the Convention Center later today. The district recommends arriving at least 1 hour before your student ceremony starts. Prepare to be in a lot of traffic if you're driving downtown today. We just spoke with graduates before they headed inside the convention center. And Enloe High School graduate Raven Kelly explains why this milestone means so much to her.
I got to shout out my dad because he did pass away a year ago, and that was really hard for me. So the fact that I overcame that and still was able to graduate and be here is great.
It is a great moment, and I'm sure her family is so proud. The district does have an FAQ page on their website if families need more information about their students' graduation day. You can find that link on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And preparations are underway in Washington, D.C. ahead of this weekend's celebration of the creation of the U.S. Army. And as that's happening, protests are also planned all across the country and the Triangle. That's this map that you just saw there was showing you. And these events are called No King protests. They're being planned to stand against what organizers view as the president's plans to celebrate his 79th birthday and Flag Day. Now, at last check, no protests are being publicly planned for Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, road closures in D.C., especially around the National Mall, are extensive. As far as other planned protests for Saturday, the group Refuse Fascism says they are coming.
I'll reaffirm that our protest is permitted. We have a moral responsibility to be in the streets, and we have a legal right to be in the streets. And we will conduct ourselves in a nonviolent way. If there is any violence in these streets, it will be on the hands of Trump and his supporters, and we will not let it intimidate us.
President Trump says protesters would be, quote, met with very big force, end quote. And law enforcement leaders say they are already installing nearly 20 miles of fencing and roughly the same amount of concrete barriers ahead of the parade.
He was the face of WRAL News for 24 years. This morning, we are remembering the life of former anchor Charlie Gaddy, who passed away yesterday at 93 years old. Gaddy left a lasting legacy among longtime viewers and fellow colleagues after retiring from the desk back in 1994. He helped guide viewers through some of the biggest stories with a calm demeanor, most notably the 1988 deadly tornado in Raleigh, as well as talking on the air with Eddie Hatcher as he held newspaper employees hostage in Robeson County. Current and former WRAL colleagues recall the lasting imprint that Gaddy left on their careers and on the news industry.
People watching at home trusted Charlie because he was one of them. And that's what the difference is that he never talked down to people. He talked as if he was one of the people who was watching.
Integrity, honesty, fairness. That was Charlie. He's the kind of person that you look to make sure your compass is pointed in the right direction.
Charlie Gaddy was inducted in the Raleigh Hall of Fame in 2012 for his excellence in journalism and service within the community. He was preceded in death by his wife, Nancy. And coming up at 9 a.m. on Fox 50, Ira David Wood will join us live to talk about his longtime friendship with Gaddy. And you can go to WRAL.com for much more about the life and career of Charlie Gaddy. Hear him speak in his own words about his career, see photos from his time at WRAL, and watch the Tar Heel Traveler tribute from his 90th birthday.
The Indian American community in the Triangle is coming together to mourn the victims of the Air India plane crash. The SV Hindu Temple in Cary held a vigil for families in the Triangle. And the temple's chairman told us that people were looking for a way to share their grief and pray for the victims' families.
We are not able to be there physically there and to share our feelings with them. And at least then we can share our feelings and come together and be there as a part of the temple, that we just want to show that we are there for the rest of the community.
That was Raj Palavaram you heard from there. At least 290 people were killed when the plane crashed, and that includes people on the plane and others on the ground. And miraculously, one person on the plane survived. Officials say he only has minor injuries. The plane was a Boeing 787-8, and it's the first major incident involving that aircraft.
Several middle school students were injured and one child was sent to the hospital after a golf cart crash in Clayton. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on the scene after the crash happened on Tuscan Ridge Way. That's near the entrance of a neighborhood. Police say a teenager was behind the wheel of the cart and at least 5 middle school students were riding when they swerved to avoid an oncoming car. That cart ended up hitting the car and overturning. Highway Patrol did not confirm how many people were taken to the hospital, but witnesses say at least 2 teens were seriously injured. A traffic alert to tell you about this weekend in Wake County. Weather permitting, the eastbound lane of NC 540 near Viridia Parkway will be shut down for a paving project. The closure will be in place from 9 tonight until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Drivers are encouraged to avoid the area. To avoid the closure, officials say drivers can take exit 54A to get onto the NC 55 bypass before turning right on Bennett Knoll Parkway.
Your time is 8:11. Economic takeoff. Jet Zero is going to call Greensboro home for a new facility. And a massive number of new jobs could affect the entire state.
And a catch on the coast. A Raleigh family made the first catch at the Big Rock Fishing Tournament, if it makes them a contender to win the top cash prize.
And Doppler 5000 radar, pretty dry right now. We had a few light showers earlier this morning. I'll show you when we'll have redevelopment of thunderstorms later today. Coming up. 8:14, a look at Doppler 5000 radar. It continues to be some showers here in the western part of North Carolina. Those are trying to sneak into our area, but fizzling out fast. It's a 20% chance of rain between now and around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Once we get into a little bit more daytime heating, we're going to see some pop-up cells here and there, especially from the Triangle area southward. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast, and we'll also take an hour-by-hour look at Saturday and Sunday as well, because it's a big holiday weekend for sure. Cloudy in Wilson as well as Durham and Fayetteville. There's a little blue sky trying to peek out. 76 in Wilson, 77 in Durham and Fayetteville, and it's very muggy. It's Friday. It's a holiday weekend. It's a summer weekend. Probably lots of people traveling this evening. Again, around 5 or 6 o'clock is when we start to see some of those cells popping up. Our temperatures will be in the upper 80s. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got a real trouble spot in southern Wake County. We're talking about a crash that's causing quite a bit of delays. The crash is at US 1 northbound near Friendship Road, just south of State Highway 540 this morning. You can see the huge delays it's causing all the way back there, New Hill Hollyman Road. Old Highway US 1 is really your best bet in terms of an alternate route to getting around this. I'll have another update in less than 5 minutes.
We'll check back in with you, Ken. Thank you. A new aviation company is adding a massive factory in our state. Jet Zero plans to build a near $5 billion plant in Greensboro. And Governor Josh Stein made that announcement at Piedmont Triad International Airport. This is expected to bring more than 14,000 jobs, paying an average salary of $89,000 a year. The company is designing a fuel-efficient jet that could drop costs by about 50% for airlines. It expects to break ground next year with plans to finish that plant by 2036.
The first Farmina pet foods manufacturing site in the U.S. is being built here in North Carolina. The Italian brand is setting down roots in Reedsville to take advantage of its location and also availability of state workers. Reedsville is north of Greensboro, near the Virginia border. The company is expected to bring an economic investment of more than $100 million that it says will support the area for years to come.
A big catch for a Raleigh family. The Montague family reeled in the first blue marlin of the Big Rock Fishing Tournament, and the family is out on their boat called Bankwalker. Their 23-year-old daughter, Lizzie, caught the fish that weighed just shy of, get this, 450 pounds, and it took the family 3 hours to reel it in.
I've been fishing since I was 13 in the Big Rock. He's been fishing since he was 12 or 13. It's crazy.
It's insane. This is crazy. Pinch me. I can't tell you what I say.
Now, while the marlin is huge, it didn't weigh enough to win the prize. More than $800,000 will be awarded for the first 500-pound catch.
That is impressive, though. 450 pounds. Wow. Well, on the Outer Banks, Buxton Beach will open for the first time in 2 years. The Dare County beach was undergoing cleanup efforts. One section has been closed since September of 2023 because of petroleum contamination and potentially hazardous military infrastructure. The county's health department did not find any petroleum left behind in recent tests. The beach parking lot will be closed for the Army Corps of Engineers to help restore the beach's dunes. Juneteenth celebrations, Pride Month festivities, and Father's Day events. It's shaping up to be a busy weekend across the Triangle, Chris.
Okay, so let's take a look, Michelle, at WRAL's Out and About's Best Bets. The Capital City Juneteenth celebration that is going to be in Dix Park tomorrow afternoon. The fun is set to start around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There will be food, entertainment, and other family activities. You are encouraged to bring your own lawn chair and your blankets, just so you know. WRAL is the official media partner for the event, which is why Ken Smith and Lena Tillett will be the MCs.
And craft beer lovers will be checking out the Etsy Hops Festival tomorrow. The event will be from noon to 5 p.m. at Midtown Park at North Hills. Food trucks and vendors are open to the public. Tickets are available online if you want to sample the various beers, cider, and seltzer options. And Pride Month celebrations will take place in Durham this weekend. The third annual Aurora Flow Block Party is tomorrow afternoon. The event will include food and vendors. It all starts at 4 p.m. on William Vickers Avenue.
And arts and crafts for Father's Day in Cary on Sunday. Kids and families can head to downtown Cary Park to enjoy exciting crafts at the art cart. The event is free to the public and is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for more about this and the other events, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
So a lot of these events will be taking place outside, so people want to know what the weather is going to be like. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Finger crossed, not too much rain.
So we're looking at a very summer-like pattern for us. Those afternoon and evening thunderstorms, big surge of moisture has moved in. When you step out the door, you'll feel it. It's a very tropical feeling, heavy, oppressive kind of an air mass. And so lots of rainfall can happen when we have an air mass like this. So we're going to have some potential heavy downpours. Right now, we're taking a look at what's going on. We had a system develop near Georgia and then up through South Carolina and into western North Carolina. That is fizzling out. We saw a few sprinkles in some of our western counties earlier this morning from this one. And you can see that kind of moving toward the zoo there in Asheboro, but really nowhere close to our viewing area at this point. And it looks dry everywhere, even where we've had some showers this morning in Siler City and back towards parts of Moore County. Everything is dry now. You can follow this little band here, and Futurecast shows it. This is a brand new run. I've got it set to the high resolution models, which come in brand new run once an hour. So this is the new run. As of the last several runs, it's been starting a little bit earlier. And so this is even earlier with some potential for showers and thunderstorms closer to lunchtime, especially from the Triangle area southward. You can see how these lift through. There's 5 o'clock. Once we get to sunset, notice how a lot of that shifts southward and begins to dissipate. But this afternoon, those showers and thunderstorms are likely to pop up, and some of those could be heavy at times. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking pretty gray right now. We're going to see a lot of cloud cover lingering today. We'll continue with this surge of moisture through the weekend, and that means we'll stay hot and humid with some heavy downpours. Let's jump on out and talk about Saturday. Watch how Saturday in the morning we have this band of rain that moves through around 10 or 11 o'clock. It's pretty quick for our southern counties. And then it's much later when we start to see the thunderstorm cells developing, maybe around 6 or 7 o'clock. That dies down overnight. We're dry for Sunday morning, which is great if you're taking dad out for brunch or out to church. And then mid to late afternoon, again, we'll have that potential for some development. 50% chance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all total up to 2.5 inches. So it could be fairly significant, and it is going to be hot and humid. But boy, that heat really cranks up for Wednesday and Thursday into the mid-90s, Ken.
Ooh. All right, Elizabeth, we have a real trouble spot brewing in southern Wake County this morning. We're talking about this crash right here on US 1 in the northbound lanes. It's right near Friendship Road. As you can see, it's causing a huge delay all the way back to New Hill Holloman Road. Really and truly, old US Highway 1 is your best bet in terms of avoiding that slowdown. I'll continue to keep an eye on it and let you know how much it's going to continue to affect your morning commute. Back here, a little closer to Raleigh, you got this crash on Lake Wheeler Road, southbound right near Tryon Road. This just happened in the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but if that's part of your morning commute, just know you'll see some police activity in that area, and just be mindful of that. Let's take a spin around the Beltline, shall we? Starting at the southern loop of the Beltline. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic is flowing along at a nice steady clip in both directions, which is really good news, particularly if you are trying to get to the beach this morning. Those eastbound lanes for the southern beaches, load up. You ready to go? You'll get there in a couple of hours, if you're going to Wrightsville Beach, that is. The northern loop of the Beltline, boy, delay-free at this hour. Both the east and westbound lanes just moving nicely this morning. How about some other routes coming into the capital city? Here's what we're looking at. Very little to no delays, just 3 minutes coming in from Wake Forest this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Protest preparations for this weekend. Demonstrations are planned to take place across the country during tomorrow's military parade. We'll hear from the mayor of Durham, who is standing in solidarity with protesters.
Plus, runaway bull. The Apex woman who took this photo describes the moment she looked out her window to find this guy chilling in her backyard.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. A lot of people wondering what the weather is going to be like for this Father's Day weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has the forecast.
It's definitely gray out there right now. We'll see a good bit of cloud cover. We don't have any rain in our area currently, but we've had a few light showers this morning. We'll have a much better chance once we get to the afternoon hours and into the evening, a 30 to 50% chance. Those cells that pop up today are likely to produce some heavy rain, but probably won't produce damaging wind. Of course, all the students graduating, it's going to be a warm one and very humid. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s for highs this afternoon. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're tracking a significant backup in southern Wake County, just south of the State Highway 540 exit. You can see the huge delays it's causing. This crash right there in US 1 northbound lanes at Friendship Road. It's stretching all the way back to New Hill Holloman Road. Really, old Highway US 1 is your best alternate route to get around what's happening there on those northbound lanes of US 1. So keep that in mind. Let's head over to Durham and all those major routes heading into the Bull City this morning. Very little to no delays on all of those major routes at this hour.
Thanks, Ken. The person charged in a Raleigh stabbing is due in court this morning. 27-year-old Brittany Davis is charged with assault with a deadly weapon. She's accused of stabbing a man yesterday morning at the Somerset Place Apartments on Six Forks Road. And protests are planned across the country tomorrow, including right here on the Triangle. The events are part of the nationwide No Kings protest in defiance of the Trump administration. Organizers say they expect more than 1,300 people at the Raleigh protest. Next on Fox 50, what to know as Wake County Schools graduations get started today. And coming up on Today, the cast of Meet the Parents is reuniting for the film's 25th anniversary.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We have breaking news that we're following as tensions are escalating between Israel, Iran, and their neighboring countries. The potential retaliation after Israel attacked Iranian nuclear and military sites, killing leadership.
Checking in with Dual Doppler 5000 radar. Right now, we don't have any rain in the area, but by lunchtime into the afternoon, expect some scattered storm cells to pop up. I'll walk you through the timeline.
And Day of Defiance. Cities across the nation and here in North Carolina prepare to protest against President Donald Trump.
Plus, celebrating a major milestone. Thousands of Wake County students will receive their high school diplomas today and this weekend. We're going to talk about how this could affect just how easily you will drive through your downtown in Raleigh. But be patient, folks. It's a big day for them. Thanks so much for joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. It is Friday. Graduation's happening today, this weekend. Father's Day, your first Father's Day. Looking forward to that. There's so much going on, so a lot of people want to know what the weather is going to be like. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner, we are tracking some wet weather.
We are. We had a couple of sprinkles, light patchy showers in some of our counties earlier this morning. We'll break right now, but as we get into the afternoon, we'll have more of those showers and storms developing, especially after lunchtime into the evening, about a 30 to 50% chance. Coming up, I'll walk you through the timeline. We have a very moist air mass in place, lots of cloud cover. It's very sticky out there, quite muggy at 71 for the dew point and 77 for the temperature. So as the showers and storms get started this afternoon, they're likely to produce some fairly heavy downpours. And as we get into the latter part of the weekend, early next week, we could see some flooding because of that continued chance for rain. Because of the cloud cover, it's a little cooler today. Highs will be in the upper 80s, but it's still a very heavy, sticky tropical air mass. And we continue with our chance for showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. Again, I'll walk you through the timeline coming up.
All right, happening now in the WRAL traffic center. Boy, you've got that situation happening in the southern part of Wake County this morning. This crash on near Friendship Road in the northbound lanes, creating a huge slowdown stretching all the way back past New Hill Hollyman Road. So really and truly your best bet in terms of an alternate route, Old U.S. Highway 1 to get around what's happening there on those northbound lanes, just south of the State Road 540. The other crash I want to tell you about is on Lake Wheeler Road near Tryon Road. Not seeing any really major delays in that particular area, but just watch for some police activity. The southern loop of the Beltline, look at this, free and clear this morning. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking news. Within the last 30 or so minutes, President Donald Trump called Israeli strikes on Iran, quote, very successful. And that's because of Israel's massive attack on Iran's nuclear program and military leaders. Here are some of the key updates we're also learning. Israeli military leadership says the country should prepare for a, quote, prolonged operation. And Iran's leader called the attack a declaration of war and vowed to give Israel a powerful response, their words. Let's go to WRAL's Jeff Hogan. He is in the live center right now with brand new video of those strikes, Jeff.
All right, and this is absolutely, Chris, what you mentioned before in the last half hour. We showed you Israeli strikes on Iran's main nuclear power plant. I want to show you this right now because Israel's defense forces have sent this video in of strikes on weapons in Iran. You see the explosions off in the distance there and here up close as they show strikes on those weapons facilities. There's another one coming up here. It looks like some sort of facility right here or a truck parked there. Those are surface-to-surface missiles. That's what the Israeli Defense Force says that it's showing. And we told you that Hamas has expressed solidarity with Iran. Well, the Houthis have just come out and condemned these Israeli attacks in the last 10 minutes.
All right, Jeff, thank you for that update. Now to breaking news in Raleigh. The person charged in a stabbing at an apartment complex is due in court this morning. 27-year-old Brittany Davis is charged with assault with a deadly weapon. She's being held without bond. Police arrested Davis following an investigation at the Somerset Place Apartments. That's on Six Forks Road yesterday. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there while officers spent hours investigating. A man was taken to the hospital for treatment. His name and condition have not been released.
It is a big day for Wake County High School graduates because they are going to take a big step to enter their next phase in life. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live at the Raleigh Convention Center. Kelsey, I'm sure you remember graduation, right? It's a hype time, an exciting time. They have that next step of life ahead of them.
Chris, Enloe High School's graduation ceremony just started here at the Raleigh Convention Center probably about 30 minutes ago. So we are expecting to see hundreds of students coming out of the ceremony in a few minutes here. But 3 other graduations are scheduled to happen later today at the Convention Center. The district recommends arriving at least 1 hour before your student ceremony starts. There's going to be a lot of traffic downtown. So if you're headed to this area, be sure to be prepared for that. 2025 high school graduates went through the pandemic while they were in middle school. So Enloe High School graduate Hassan Smith told us how the pandemic has impacted his educational experience.
The pandemic hit everybody by surprise, and it wasn't really like a thing anyone could have expected, obviously. And that just threw everything off, even up to now, where people are still kind of like adjusting back to it. But it's settling out.
There is an FAQ page on the district's website for families who need more information about graduation. You can find that link on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
President Trump and the U.S. military are promising an event tomorrow unlike anything the nation has ever seen. Final preparations are happening today for the Army's 250th birthday celebration and parade. Roads will be closed all over D.C. for the event. It'll include dozens of Army battle tanks, combat vehicles, and helicopters. It's also happening on President Trump's birthday. Nearly 7,000 soldiers, including many from Fort Bragg, will be part of the event. As many as 200,000 people are expected to attend. The event is drawing criticism from many across the country about the cost and the show of force, which some see as a Trump vanity project.
I will reaffirm that our protest is permitted. We have a moral responsibility to be in the streets, and we have a legal right to be in the streets. And we will conduct ourselves in a nonviolent way. If there is any violence in these streets, it will be on the hands of Trump and his supporters, and we will not let it intimidate us.
Officials in Washington, D.C. have installed 18 miles of fencing and 17 miles of bike rack concrete barriers in preparation for the parade.
New this morning, a federal appeals court says President Donald Trump can keep California's National Guard deployed for right now. A district judge ruling said that the deployment of the Guard was illegal and both violated the 10th Amendment and exceeded the president's statutory authority. The judge gave the Trump administration until noon today to return the National Guard to state control, but now the order from the Court of Appeals puts that order on pause. Meanwhile, California Senator Alex Padilla says he is not waiting for an apology from the Trump administration, and that is his response to being forcibly removed from a Homeland Security event.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary.
Hands behind your back.
As you see there, several men pushed Padilla from the room as he tried to question Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. They clearly have him on the ground there, patting him down. He wanted to question her about the response to the protests in Los Angeles. But Noem blames the escalation on Padilla, saying he did not identify himself, but you clearly heard him do that in the video there. Padilla wrote on X, quote, "If that's what they do to a U.S. senator with a question, imagine what they can do to any American who dares to speak up." Happening today, a Tennessee judge will hear arguments about releasing Kilmar Abrego Garcia from jail. He's that Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March and then returned to the U.S. just 1 week ago. Now, although Abrego Garcia lives in Maryland, he faces human smuggling charges in Tennessee, and that's based on a May 2022 traffic stop for speeding in the state. Abrego Garcia was not charged with any offense during that traffic stop, and if he's released on the criminal charges, ICE could move to detain, even deport him.
Dozens of people gathered at the Bull statue in downtown Durham to stand in solidarity with the country the people around the country who they say are being targeted by immigration and custom enforcement. The protesters in Durham held signs saying no justice, no peace, and uphold the Constitution. This demonstration comes on the heels of protests being held around the country, including one in downtown Raleigh that was attended by more than 1,000 people. Durham Mayor Leah Williams was in attendance.
I believe in these turbulent times, we have to stand up with one another and in solidarity with our neighbors, our community members. This is political, and political is people work, and so therefore we have to stand up for one another.
More protests are planned for tomorrow. Williams encourages people to speak up and exercise their right to protest, while, in his words, not tearing the city apart.
A Duke Hospital employee discovered a hidden camera in a bathroom, according to a new search warrant. Police found videos of 3 employees using the restroom, and more videos on that device showed a man at a physical therapy business filming his therapist. Now, according to the warrant, that man was a contract employee who worked for a Duke medical supply vendor, and he has not been charged at this time. And so we reached out to Duke with questions about who had access to that bathroom. We also want to know whether that man is still employed there and if employees were told. We have not yet heard back. Looks like Fayetteville will need a new mayor next year because Mayor Mitch Colvin announced he will not run for re-election this fall. He says he wants to spend more time with family and work on his business. Colvin is the city's longest-serving black mayor, and he was elected in 2017 and is serving his 4th term.
An award-winning journalist and master communicator. This morning, we are honoring the life of former WRAL anchor Charlie Gaddy, who passed away yesterday at the age of 93. He was hired in 1970 and was the face of WRAL for 24 years. Gaddy's defining moments of his career include covering the 1988 deadly tornado in Raleigh and talking over the air with Eddie Hatcher, who held newspaper employees hostage in Robeson County. Former colleagues told WRAL he was the gold gold standard within the news business and knew how to connect with viewers.
He had the looks, he had the charisma, he had the presence, and he had dignity and he had integrity. But he also had this caring warmth about him. And it came in over the airways. If you're sitting at home, you just got the feeling that Charlie Gaddy really cared and that you could trust what he was saying.
Charlie Gaddy was inducted in the Raleigh Hall of Fame in 2012 for his excellence in journalism and service within the community. He was preceded in death by his wife, Nancy. And you can go to WRAL.com for much more about the life and career of Charlie Gaddy. Hear him speak in his own words about his career, see photos from his time at WRAL, and watch the Tar Heel Traveler tribute from his 90th birthday.
This morning, the owner of a bull spotted roaming in an Apex neighborhood has been found, and the animal will now go home. People who live on Glen Summit Road in Apex spotted the bull in their yards. And this is near Optimus Farm and Lake Wheeler Roads. Angela Gannon says she saw the animal walking through the neighborhood, and she even managed to confine it in her backyard. And she says she is just relieved that bull will be going home.
We have a dog who would lose her mind if she saw this animal because she will hunt down, a bird in a bush. So she's been inside all day, poor thing.
The animal's owner promised us that she'll share pictures of that happy reunion as soon as she can.
Time now is 8:42. A nightclub tragedy. Police arrest 2 people for a deadly roof collapse in the Dominican Republic. Their connection to the business and what police say led to those suspects.
Plus, Meta is taking action against a deepfake app. How the platform plans to protect users from sexually explicit images.
Also, rain across the area right now. Some of you are waking up to some isolated showers. A few storms are expected later this afternoon. Elizabeth Gardner tells us how long the wet weather will last.
.46, the clouds are beginning to clear a little bit here in Boone. It started cloudy there. We may see some thinning of the clouds here as well, but everybody's on track to see some afternoon and evening thunderstorms today and through the weekend. If you're planning to take Dad to the mountains for the weekend, tomorrow's high in Boone 78 degrees, a little farther down to the south, mid-80s for Asheville and Bryson City, afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And then we'll just repeat that for Father's Day on Sunday, around 75 in Boone, around 83 degrees in Asheville. If you're headed to the beach instead, just watch the rip current danger. The beaches north of Wilmington have a moderate risk for today, but that could change for tomorrow and the weekend. Our temperatures right along the beaches will be in the low to mid 80s for highs, both Saturday and Sunday, and each afternoon we'll be in for some scattered showers and thunderstorms, just a typical summer-like pattern. I'll talk about when we'll have the best chance to see storms here over the weekend coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to watch that situation in southern Wake County, just south of State Road 540 this morning. This crash on Highway US 1 northbound near Friendship Road. You can see the huge delay stretching all the way back to New Hill Holloman Road. Your best alternate route this morning is that old US Highway 1 to just get around the slowdowns that we're seeing there on US 1. It looks like a significant crash. The other crash that we want to tell you about that doesn't look appear very serious. This is one on Lake Wheeler Road, southbound near Tryon Road. It's happened in the last 45 minutes, so it stands to reason that that crash is likely in the clearing phase. Here's a look at that southern loop of the Beltline. Traffic is moving along nicely at a nice steady clip.
All right, thank you, Ken. One of the most powerful tech companies in the world is combating dangerous apps that can turn photos of your children into lewd images. In this NBC News exclusive, Meta tells Savannah Sellers how they plan to protect you.
Meta announcing it is cracking down on apps that use AI to undress people in photos.
We're taking legal action against a company that has been trying to advertise these apps on our platform.
Meta writing in a lawsuit against Joy Timeline, a company marketing these apps, that it was violating Meta policy by displaying ads consisting of nudity and or non-consensual intimate imagery with captions like "erase any clothes on girls" and "click the button for the nudie version." Here's how some of these apps work. Easily upload a normal photo, like someone at prom or graduation, or like this photo of me. Some apps allow you to easily make edits, changing colors or pieces of clothing, or removing them entirely, creating a realistic-looking nude AI image.
One of the things that we're doing to try to address this is to actually work with other members of industry.
Is taking this step, this action, an admission essentially that you don't have a handle on this on your platform?
It's not an admission that we don't have a handle. What it is a recognition that this is an adversarial space.
NBC News reached out to Joy Timeline for comment and has not heard back. Even after today's announcement, NBC News found dozens of ads on Meta platforms. Elliston Berry says an AI-generated nude photo was created of her by a classmate using a Nudify app.
Do you remember seeing the photo? Yes, and these photos looked completely real. To someone that doesn't know me, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was real or not.
Meta says in addition to the lawsuit, it's also developing advanced technology that can help detect more bad actors.
For families who might say this is too little, too late, what do you say?
What I would like to say to them is we are on their side. We want our community to be a safe place for them. We're going to be taking action. We're going to file lawsuits. We're going to continue to develop technology.
Savannah Sellers with that story. Closing arguments are set to begin this morning in the retrial of a woman charged with killing her boyfriend with her